Hey lovies, today's question is from Michelle, and Michelle wants to know what lead magnet should she create for her business. She hears that it's really valuable to give away something for free in exchange for an email address and or somebody's name, and she's not sure should she create a PDF, a checklist, a ebook, a podcast episode that she just sends off to people as an audio file. What are the different things that she should do? And so I'm going to share with you what I found to be incredibly effective and what I think makes the most sense for starting a business or for growing your business and generating leads. And again, there are many ways to go about it, but I'm going to tell you what I found to be the best way. So when you think about it, if you've listened to me give this dating analogy before, awesome. If not, I'm going to walk you through it this way. Essentially, the way I look at marketing is that it's just like dating. And, you typically don't go up to somebody in a bar and go, hey, nice to meet you, want to get married? It may work, but most likely it won't. And so one of the things that I recommend that you do when you're offering a lead magnet is to think of it as, okay, I am asking somebody for their name and email address, or just their email address, maybe even their phone number. And if I'm going to do that, hopefully we've built like a little bit of rapport right before I ask for that. So you want to think before you say, hey, offer this lead magnet, that you've introduced yourself, you've maybe created some really great content on Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn where they feel like, oh, okay, I've gotten to know you a little bit. And then when they're done reading the post or engaging with you or reading the ad that's really valuable, they click on it and go, you know what, I really want what you have to offer. And so think of it as, I am going to give you my number because I really want to go on a date with you. You want to make sure that that first experience is something that the person goes, oh my goodness, I'm so glad, this was so worth it. I just gave you my contact information and you're not like a creeper or an aggressive seller or something along those lines. And so one of the things that I recommend that you do is to think, what would your audience want right now that would be incredibly valuable, where it would be a no-brainer for them to give you their name and email address, maybe even their phone number, whatever it is you're asking for. And so what I found to be incredibly valuable is to do offer two things. Now, what I would do if I were you, and I don't know a ton about your business, but I would either offer them, say, hey, get this free workbook or this free PDF, something that, is downloadable. And then what I would do is once they download it on the thank you page, I'd surprise them with a video that's like, hey, let me walk you through what this thing is that you just got. Because I find that when people see you on video, they don't realize that they've never met you. I've literally had people on my team that I've thought that we've spent time together before because we've done so many video chats and talked so much and all that jazz. And then we meet in person and I completely forgot that it was the first time we've ever been in the same room in real life. Because it just, when you're watching videos and you're connecting with someone, it feels like they're right there with you and that they're talking to you. So I would really encourage you to, if you do a download PDF or a checklist or something that's super valuable to them, that you follow it up with a really quick video that's just, hey, here's what you just downloaded, here's how it's going to help you, here's some tips, go from there. On the flip side, if you want to offer them a webinar or a training or something that's video, I would include a guide or a worksheet or something along those lines. I find that those combos work really well. Personally, what I've liked doing is giving people a guide and saying, hey, here's the guide. I have even more valuable information in this free training. Just click here and you can get to it. So they've already given me their name and email address. They've already seen the guide. I've given them super valuable emails or things like that as a follow-up, but I'm inviting them to watch a video training. And usually from that video training, I have them sign up for a call with me to see if working together is a good fit. Now, that's typically what I do. One of the things that I can't stress enough is that the more that somebody feels like they get to know you, the easier it is for them to say, yes, let me give you my email address. So typically what I do is when I invite people to sign up for my lead magnet, they usually can only get to it from a couple of places. One, they're already on my website, which means they're somewhat interested in me because they've come to my house, for example, as opposed to just going to a bar and me showing up. So they've met me in my home base. They were like, hey, I'm interested in what you've got going on. So the lead magnet's there. They can sign up. The other thing that I do is if they are really engaging with me on Instagram, or they're really engaging with videos that I have online or things like that, I have code on Facebook, essentially. They're called pixels, that will say, hey, all of these people are engaging with you. They've watched your videos, or they've engaged with you on Instagram, or they've clicked to your website. And then I will send those people an ad to get even more great content from me, and then I send them an ad to sign up for their email address. Because again, I personally believe that the more that they've engaged with you, the more likely it is for them to say yes, no brainer, and then the more likely it is that they'll sign up to work with you. Now, that is some extra steps, and I know your question was just which lead magnet should you create, but I did want to give you a bit of an idea of what I do. I believe that your lead magnet is essentially your first date, so you want to make sure that it's something that's totally worth it, and that does not mean it has to be complicated. If you know that your audience struggles with managing their content, or coming up with a content plan, let's keep it simple. If you know your audience really struggles with coming up with a content plan, then an easy content strategy on one sheet of paper, or an easy editorial calendar that's pre-filled and all they have to do is just show up and do what's on there, that's amazing for people. So you want to think, oh my goodness, my audience really struggles with losing weight. I'm just going to give them, one exercise that they can do every day for the next 30 days that's going to help them feel great in their skin and all of that jazz. Whatever it is, just really make sure that it's valuable, that it's super easy for them to say yes to, and that, they feel like they get to know you through it. So again, I think that it's amazing to do a PDF or a workbook. Personally, I start people with a guide, and then from that guide, I invite them to a longer training. Because the guide is just easy for people to say yes to. It's a download. It's not a commitment to sitting there and watching you talk. But once they get the guide and they start reading through it, I get a sense of, oh, these people must really be interested, so I'm going to invite them to come to this bigger training. So hopefully that helps, but if you walk away with nothing else, just ask yourself, what would my audience love to have that's super valuable, super helpful, that I can give them right now for free? It's super easy and it'll make a difference in their lives. Those tend to be the best lead magnets. Cool? Hope that helps, and I can't wait to talk to you guys later. Bye.